All right. Welcome back, everybody. Let's start the week off strong. Let's start the week off right. Today, I want to go over some reasons why I think the VanEck solidx physically backed Bitcoin ETF will likely get approved by February at the latest, actually. So I think this is going to get approved within the next 3 months. And if and when this does get approved, it's likely going to send Bitcoin and likely going to send the whole market into its next chapter. And of course, what that means is bring a lot of new money into the space. So I would think you'd really want to know what's going on with this. And also, I just recently watched an interview with their director of digital asset strategy, and he had some insight to share on just where they are in the approval process. So I'm going to share a couple of things he said with you. And yeah, if you want to be a part of a channel that brings you daily videos, keeping you informed on everything going on with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I want to invite you to subscribe to our channel. Join our team. Why not? Why not make cryptocurrency a daily part of your life? Let's get into it. And to start things off today, I want to actually go to a peripheral story. It's actually the top story of today, and it's a piece of news that gives whatever few bulls out there, whatever few bulls are left in the space, just a little bit of hope. And I'm sure you've seen stories covering this plastered all over Reddit, all over the crypto news sites. The headline is World's First Crypto ETF Approved. It's the New York Stock Exchange approved this, or not the New York, the Swiss Stock Exchange approved this. So let's get into this, and I'll go over the details. In a world first, Europe's fourth largest stock exchange has approved the listing of an ETF which will track the price of the top 5 cryptocurrencies. It's called the Amen Crypto ETF, and according to the website, the current index allocation is Bitcoin, almost 50%, Ripple XRP, 25%, Ethereum 17%, Bitcoin Cash 5%, I'm going to need some clarity there, and Litecoin 3%. And they chose not to include stable coins like Tether, obviously. And also they stayed away from anonymous coins like Monero and Zcash, probably because there's no clear regulations with them. People who want to stay regulatory compliant are staying away from anonymous coins at the moment, which may be why anonymous coins are so important, right? Anyways, this is the CEO. He was very happy to share this news with everybody on Twitter just the other day, November 17th. So, what do you think this means for cryptocurrency? It's obviously good, right? If you look more into this, I've actually started reading some stuff that says this isn't actually an ETF at all, but something called an ETP. So it's not a fund, but it's still going to allow institutions to get into crypto. So I'm going to have to look into this more. As you know, I'm not a financial advisor. If anybody out there has any solid information, any clarity on this, let us know in the comments. But it's obviously a good thing. New money coming in, new interest from big players, really cryptocurrency being put on the world stage. And actually, he says ETP right in his tweet. So it's these news, crypto news websites that are misleading us when they say ETF. Anyways, the reason a lot of people are looking forward to ETF approval, let me show you this, is what they reference is like graphs like this of commodities or assets like gold or whatever that show when ETFs get approved. You usually see the asset or commodity go up in value very quickly. Now obviously it's not gold and Bitcoin, it's not a direct correlation here. It's two very different things, but this is simply put, this is what a lot of people expect to happen with Bitcoin upon ETF approval. So I wanted to clue you into this story, and I'm sure we'll find out more information in the coming days. But let's just talk about what this means for VanEck. Really, I think this means that this is just going to be a slightly positive push towards the SEC to approve the VanEck ETF. And besides that, there's actually another correlation. So I guess there's a VanEck connection. The Amen Crypto Basket Index, which is what we just talked about, is maintained by VanEck's fully regulated index arm, MVIS indices. Indices is plural for index. And VanEck Bitcoin ETF, currently being assessed by the US SEC, will use the same MVIS indices to price its underlying Bitcoin. So a loose connection for sure. I mean, just the fact that I guess this is a solid indices that able to price assets. So a loose connection, good news. And actually, when I was listening to this interview with the VanEck Director of Digital Asset Strategies, Gabor Gurbacs, he echoed what I just said, that he hopes this is going to give the SEC a slight push to approve their ETF. I just want to get into this conversation now with the VanEck ETF. This is something you should care about, and I'm going to recap maybe details you know, but I want to get us all on the same page of where we stand with this. Because as you know, this is one of the major things that cryptocurrency is waiting for. It's probably this, Backed, and Fidelity, right? This is going to allow us to enter into the next chapter of crypto's life, and as you know, it's going to cause cryptocurrency to go up in value. That's why a lot of people are looking forward to this. So you're going to want to pay attention to these details I'm about to go over. So the final deadline for the SEC, where they have to either approve or deny the VanEck ETF, is February 27th of 2019, of next year. However, they do have a scheduled meeting coming up on December 29th of this year, where they have to make a decision. That's in about a month. So in about a month, on December 29th, a couple things can happen. Either the SEC says yes or no, and then we'll have our answer, or the SEC may say that we need more time, and then legally they can push it to the final deadline, the February 27th, at which point they would need to make a decision of saying yes or no by February 27th, 2019. And actually in this interview that I watched with the VanEck Director of Digital Assets, he gives a few reasons why he thinks the VanEck ETF will get approved. So I mean, there's articles like this, or feel free to pause the video here and read what they say, their 5 reasons why they think that it's going to get approved. But I actually liked what Gabor had to say about it. So in no particular order, his feelings, his number one reason why he thinks it's going to get approved is that VanEck has a proven solid history building a solid market structure for asset classes, which is something that the Winklevoss ETF fell short on. The Winklevoss ETF, they didn't have that solid history. They had nothing proven, and exactly what VanEck does for every other asset class that they deal with, they're going to do for Bitcoin, which I think would provide, a little bit of trust. Next up, what sets the VanEck ETF apart, this, is it's physically backed. It's a physical Bitcoin ETF. You're going to have to own Bitcoin through it, which is also a lot of people, including myself, like about backed. Anyways, number 3. The VanEck solidx ETF, it's fully insured, so if there's any hacks or losses, the insurance will 100% cover it. Number 4, the ETF is institutionally oriented with 25 Bitcoins per basket, as they say in the financial world. And that means that they're going to be large quantities meant for institutions, and that the pricing that they use for the ETF comes from a regulated entity, which is important. The regulators, the SEC, they want to make sure that pricing is legit, that the market is legit. They're worried about this kind of stuff. And let me just say that it's not that VanEck is submitting this proposal to the SEC and then just twiddling their fingers waiting for approval. The thing is that VanEck, they have a 60+ year relationship with the SEC and the regulators, and they speak to them regularly. And, they talk and go over different aspects. They have back and forth relationship. They're in constant communication. They're talking about building the right market structure. And really, what the SEC is looking for, the reason that the last batch of ETFs were declined was because of market manipulation, right? And according to this guy right here, according to the director, he says, and I'm going to spare you all these details, but just to go over what he said in the interview, he says that what they've been working on, they've been working pretty hard to solve that problem of market manipulation. And he thinks that they have pretty well, and he hopes that the SEC is going to acknowledge that. And anyways, I just wanted to share that with you and go over this VanEck information. And again, if you have anything to add to the conversation, I'll be chatting it up with you below. I've been reading a lot of your comments lately saying that you think that this is going to get approved at the very beginning of 2019. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that. By the way, if and when you find value in today's video, don't be shy. Hit that like button. It's a small thing you can do that does help us grow as a channel. Let's go over one more news story. I don't want this video to be too long. We spent a lot of time on the VanEck's stuff. Tom Lee's big Bitcoin price prediction dropped to 15,000. So he's still bullish, but now he's only predicting 15,000 in Bitcoin price by the end of the year. Fundstrat's Tom Lee, often referred to as the crypto bull, has revised his end of the year price prediction from 25,000 down to 15,000. The bear market is affecting him. Lee's prediction is that Bitcoin should be around 2.2 times the new break-even price, which is for Bitcoin miners of 7,000, which puts it just over the price at the end of the year, just over 15,000 is his prediction. So Bitcoin bull Lee is still predicting a recovery, citing previously long bear markets in 2014 when Bitcoin never sustained a below break-even. He says, quote, while Bitcoin broke below the psychologically important $6,000 price point, this has led to a renewed wave of pessimism, but we believe that the negative swing in sentiment is actually much worse than the fundamental implications. So he thinks people are being a little pessimistic. Some of the blame, just to recap, some of the blame about Bitcoin falling has been put at the recent crypto war that has broken out on Twitter between opposing Bitcoin Cash factions. The verbal mudslinging and hash power battles that ensued have showed weakness and divisions in the crypto community. Lee added that part of a broader creation of infrastructure necessary for institutional involvement has been orchestrated by the involvement of Fidelity and the launch of Bakkt. The fundamentals for a cryptocurrency have generally been pretty good for the latter half of the year, yet the bears have still pushed the market to their lowest levels for over 12 months. Okay, so Lee still has these bullish predictions, but he does not expect us to go over all-time highs. We will see. You know, at the beginning of the year, everybody had slightly more bullish predictions. I was predicting, I think, Bitcoin at $30,000. Just, you know, I have no inside information. That's just what I thought. I don't know. I don't know if we'll break all-time highs. We will see. Anyways, that's it for me, my friends. Feel free to join our team. If you're new here, feel free to look through any of our old videos. We try and provide a lot of value. That's it for me. I will see you tomorrow.